Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. We have an image in our culture of what Jesus looked like, but of course no one really knows. Nevertheless, when we see an artistic rendering of Jesus, we tend to know it's Jesus, and I have one of those in my office. The only difference is that in my picture, Jesus has his head thrown back in laughter. It's not how we typically see Jesus. I think it's how we should see Jesus more. I'm not sure Jesus laughed when the events in our story today happened, but it's hard for me to imagine a little smile not bursting out every now and then as it went along. This week we are looking at Bible humor, stories that may have a play on words, a pun, a comeuppance for someone in power, or a humorous twist. And the story today, well, it may not have been funny at the time, but I'll bet every time the disciples told it to a crowd of people, they almost fell down laughing. And like other stories, it may not translate to our language or times so well, but maybe part of that is that we aren't expecting the Bible to be funny. Maybe we should change our expectation. Our story today is my favorite funny story in the Bible, and it's the story of the Gadarene Demoniac. In some Gospels it's the Gadarene Demoniac, but both names refer to the same region across the Sea of Galilee, outside of Israel. That's important because in those days people expected that a god would have power only on his or her own land. So the expectation would be that Jesus could do no deed of power there. No miracle expected. When Jesus arrives, it isn't long before he encounters a demonically possessed man. The man is out of his mind, living in tombs, running around naked, and if they try to lock him down with chains for his own protection, with maniacal strength he breaks free. This man ran up to Jesus, screaming, "What have you to do with me, Jesus of Nazareth? Don't torment me." Jesus asked the demon its name, and the demon replied, "Legion, for we are many." Legion begged Jesus not to send them back to the pit, and so Jesus sent them into some pigs on a nearby hillside, and the pigs all rushed down into the lake and drowned. The man was left perfectly sane, and everyone was amazed. Now, isn't that a funny story? Well, it might not seem like it, but let me unpack it a bit. In our country, we have never known occupation by a military force, at least since before the Revolution. But in Israel in that day, everyone had to contend with the Romans. You paid taxes to this foreign government. The soldiers could do pretty much whatever they wanted, and the Romans controlled everything. An opportunity to poke fun at the Romans would be fun indeed. And suddenly, we have a multitude of demons named Legion. People would have thoroughly enjoyed that Roman soldiers, organized in legions, were being compared to demons. That was a knee slapper if there ever was one. But there's more. Where do the demons go? Into pigs. Now, if you know anything about Jewish culture and religion, there's not a better place for demons to go. Pigs were unclean animals, the perfect place for demons. This is another indication that they are out of Israel, because there certainly wouldn't have been a herd of pigs in Israel. So, these unclean demons end up in unclean pigs, and everyone would have enjoyed that tidbit too. There's one final bit of humor, or perhaps irony, here too. The demons beg not to go back into the pit or the abyss, so Jesus sends them to the pigs, and the pigs rush down and drown themselves. What happens to the demons then? Well, everyone knew. They go back to the abyss, this time by their own hand. Ha! They got what they deserved. So, this story that doesn't seem so funny to us would have caused guffaws of laughter then. And all that is beside the point that God's power isn't limited to a certain land. God is the only true God. Maybe we should see Jesus laughing more often. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.